Good morning, my dear friends. Happy Tuesday. It's a beautiful morning. It's the first morning I woke up and went outside and I scurried back in quickly. It's cold. It's cold. I think we're getting to the point now where jackets are sweaters, sweater weather. What do they call it? They call it cuffing season. It is cuffing season. It is time to get cuffed. I've been cuffed for almost 5 years now. Um, it's cool. Being cuffed is cool. So much easier, dude. I'm I have people come up to me all the time and talk to me about like their love life, or I guess lack thereof, lack thereof love life, and or just talking about girls. And am I apologize to all the dudes out there with the advice that I've given you. I'm so out of the game. The game. It's such a weird thing to say. I don't think I've ever been in the game. Um, I'm not the guy you want to come to whenever you're in a situation and you're trying to talk to a girl. I just read Harry Potter and have long hair. That's all I do. That's the extent of my knowledge on females. Is if you are nice or if you are interesting. Well, actually, here's the best advice I can give anybody out there who's looking to cuff this season and to be permanently cuffed. Drink a huge cup of coffee. I don't know what the numbers stand for. It's a beautiful morning. This is such a good vibe this morning. It's beautiful. A little spider web in the corner of my window over there. A little brisk air outside. Got my little chicken right here. He's always off camera nowadays. Got my God books because preachers try to get me to do the God thing, which is like not how you get somebody to do the God thing. I literally have 3 books on Jesus over here. God damn it. Sorry. I don't want to be Jesus follower. And that's okay? That should be okay. Stop trying to get me part of your cult, my man. Yo, Catholics, back off. You got a lot more going on with your priest having sex with underage boys. Like, what are we doing here? Let's stop trying to get more white people part of your church, and let's go ahead and cut off the dicks of the priests who are fucking little boys. You know what I mean? Like, why are we out here trying to get more cult followers when we have people who are out there just ruining lives one kid at a time? Like, let's take care of this shit. What are we doing, dude? If I was a cult leader, I would make sure that my cult was not like doing that stuff. Like, if I had a cult, let's say I'm Jesus, okay? Let's say I'm Jesus. I would make the rules up, right? I would throw in some 10 commandments. And commandment 1 would be don't have sex with underage boys. Like, don't do that. Also, don't hate on the gays. Let the gays be there. Let people be gay. Don't tell them that it's wrong, because if you're a cult, what you want to do is you want the least amount of eyes on you as possible, right? Like, Charles Manson was able to get away with it for a while because he had the least amount of eyes. He was just a hippie tripping off of acid with a bunch of young girls out in a cave somewhere with a shitty western town, right? Wasn't there like an old movie set? That was the way you do it. But the way you don't... I don't know why this is so funny. But the way you don't do it is you don't gather a bunch of people together and you tell them, rule number 1, hate the gays, or don't be gay. Rule number 2, don't have sex. Rule number 3 should be don't have sex with underage kids, especially boys, because you're breaking 2 rules. You're having sex and they're underage, which is illegal. Like, oh, and also like don't like what's that class saying? Don't shit where you eat. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? It's like, go to Las Vegas. You can buy a prostitute. It's completely free. An escort is completely free. Not free. It's completely legal. Jesus Christ, man. Like, stop trying to do that. It's weird. I feel like that's such an old school thing, but I've had a few people in churches try to flow me in like I'm a cow in a field. I'm like, no, I don't want to be part of that. I was part of that as a child. I got guilt complex because of it. I don't want to be part of it. I knew it was bullshit when we had to go up to a guy and sit between a screen. I couldn't see him, but he could see me. And I had to tell him all the things I did that week that were a sin. When you got to do that, your entire week is shitty because you're constantly worried about every single thing you do. And then here's the trick, is that when you go to confession or wherever it is, you sit down and you go to talk to the preacher, and you want to lie because you don't want to tell him what you did, but then you feel guilty for lying because you didn't tell him about what you did. So it's like this cycle of chaos. It's crazy. And like it's like the stem of racism and like sexism starts in church. And if you're a church person, you're probably already shut off this podcast because you're pissed off at me. But I'm not saying anything that's wrong. This is true. This is true. This is my life experience. This is my life experience. The church is so traditional with everything. You know, women are the caretakers of the house. They're the caretakers of the children. Men are the caretakers of the family. They make the money, and that's just the way it rolls, you know? And like, there's something kind of cool about that, but also, hey, 2021, can't be doing that shit. It's a weird cult. It's a weird cult. And it's one that I don't know will ever go away. But it's also like a double-edged sword. Like Nietzsche said in the late 1900s, God is dead. And he was saying that in reference to the 20th century, 1900s. In the late 19th century, Nietzsche said God is dead. And he was referring to the 20th century, what's going to happen. Because he noticed that in the late 1800s, 1880s, 1890s, the Industrial Revolution was partaking. And it was taking over the country, and it was taking over Europe. And he noticed that as we built up and as we developed from more of a agriculture, widespread population, and we started narrowing down into places, started building up, and we started developing cities, and we started being, working like a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week. We started spending less time away from the family. The nuclear family started falling apart a little bit. People started realizing that the more money you make, the more comfortable your life can be. So we started going from like a very agriculture like society more into like a capitalistic society. And he noticed that this is a road where God is separated from the base family. And when he made this conclusion, it was incredible. It was incredible because, let me take a sip of my coffee before I get all weird on you people. I'm feeling very philosophical today. I've been reading Harry Potter, and like, it's so weird. It's like, there's something so magical, no pun intended, about books, because depending on what you're reading, you're a different person at the time. Like, I've been reading fiction like crazy. Well, I've been reading Harry Potter like crazy, and it's been about a month and a half, and I'm almost done with book 5. By the time this podcast comes out, I'm probably on book 6. So I'm well over halfway. But the way that my mind thinks, the way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm processing things is so much different. Like, there's this world out there, and this sounds, I'm an avid reader. I read, a lot of books. And there's this world that's created. But the world that I've always created from books, you can look over my right shoulder, is books that are nonfiction. So they're not magical worlds. They're not made up worlds. I transport myself into a computer and I retain information. And there's something about reading fiction where there's this world out there that I create in my brain. With Harry Potter, it's the movies have been out, and I've seen all the movies except for the seventh one, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, which I'm really excited to read that book because every time I read a book right now for Harry Potter, I can relate to the movie scenes that I saw. Now, some of them are crazy, and I might have Taylor on. We might just get into this Harry Potter stuff because some of the, like, especially like the fifth one, the Order of the Phoenix, there's a few things that they missed. Well, Goblet of Fire, especially. What's his name? Dobby and Winky. Winky is never talked about in Order of the Phoenix movie ever, and it's like that's just such a huge part of the Winky is such a huge part of the book. You know, Winky's the one who did the thing with the championship of the Quidditch. Winky is Cornelius Fudge's house elf. She's a major part of the book, but they just completely skip it in Goblet of Fire, which is fine. You know, J.K. Rowling helped with the movies, and the first movie, the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone, which I don't know why there's a difference. I don't know. They say like real Harry Potter aficionados say it's a sin to say the Sorcerer's Stone and it's the Philosopher's Stone. I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. Who knows? Who the hell cares? My lower back hurts. But and then, you know, so it was the longest one, right? And so it dragged on, and people didn't really like that. So they had to start cutting things out. And Order of the Phoenix in the movie, and if you haven't seen the movies or watched the books yet, you should. I mean, I'm a 25-year-old grown up, I guess, child. I don't know. Like Peter Pan never will grow up. They took out, you should watch them. You should definitely read the books. I'm telling you, man, I was such a skeptic. If you asked me, I would have made fun of you and like laughed in your face if you told me to read the Harry Potter books. But they're so good, dude. You create this world, like there's this little safety pillow out there that you can just run to. And no, you're not a bitch because you have that. You're cool because you have that. There's nothing cooler than talking to somebody who's into Harry Potter. You know? There really isn't. I feel like I'm such a... I don't know. I feel like I'm not your typical Harry Potter dude. I feel like I don't look like a Harry Potter fan. And I get off on that. That's kind of exciting to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I do look like a Harry Potter lover. But I'm all in. Like, I'm gonna dress up as Neville Longbottom for Halloween if I do Halloween. So I'm a Halloween. I think they canceled it in Seattle, saying that it's since you got to wear costumes for Halloween. Some of them are expensive. So in the Seattle schools, they decided to just not do it because some kids can't afford certain costumes. Here's my thought on it. That's fine. I get it. But also at the same time, like the kids who were poor in school, they had the coolest Halloween costumes. Like the Halloween costumes that were the coolest were the ones that were made like in their mom's basement. Like the ones that weren't bought at the store. It was the rich kids who had the worst Halloween costumes in my experience because they went to the stores, they got the nicest shit, but like a real Halloween costume is just a savage of a costume. Someone that's just made with cotton balls and shit and like a little bit of scissors and tape action. Like those are the real Halloween nerds. Which I don't know, is weird. Like if I was in Seattle, I would dress my kid up. I'd be such an asshole. I'd be like, hey, you're gonna go to school today as $100 bill. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I would dress my kid up as a $1 bill. I'm just kidding, dude. That's mean. I hope that didn't trigger anybody. But let's get back into critiquing Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix is a good movie. So far it's probably my favorite book. Goblet of Fire. That was Goblet of Fire's. It goes Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter Order. Let's see the series just so I can. I just don't want to get it wrong. I don't want you guys to kill me out there. All right, here we go. Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and then Deathly Hallows. So far, I would say my least favorite one would probably be I don't know. Um, Probably Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, probably Chamber of Secrets. And I don't even know what I think that was with the snake, right? That's a snake in the barn. Like maybe more. Well, Mina Lima. Who the hell's Mina Lima? Mina Lima. After teasing that an announcement was coming, the artist revealed that the Mima Lima edition of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets were released. What is Mima Lima? What the hell is this? What the fuck is this shit? House of Mima Lima. Colorful gallery and shop run by the graphic designer duo who worked on the Harry. Oh, no way. That's the girl who made the oh, that's so cool. It must be it's like an edition. Oh, that's cool. I want to see what this is. The House of Mina Lima looks awesome though. It's in London. I want to go everywhere. I want to go. I'm so obsessed with this. This is like dangerous how obsessed I am with this. I want to go there so bad. Like I want to go to where she wrote the books at. I want it like oh god, I love it, dude. I definitely want to get some t-shirts. Where's the t-shirts? Let's see what they have. Peter Pan, get out of here. Beauty and the Beast, get out of here. Alice in Wonderland? No, I want Wizard World. What the hell is Wizard World? Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. What the hell is happening here? The Chamber of Secrets, Little Mermaid? No, I want... Why don't they have Harry Potter? Anyways, I digress. I would say my least favorite one's probably the Chamber of Secrets. It's not that good. I don't even know what the Sorcerer's Stone was about. The Philosopher's Stone. That was, I don't even know what that one was. The reason why I would say Chamber of Secrets is my least favorite one because I don't know. I just didn't, it wasn't that good. At least the book wasn't. The movie wasn't that good either. The Sorcerer's Stone was really good. That was probably the most homey one, like the one where I felt like I was most at home with. You're introduced to all the characters. They're so young. Hagrid saves him, tells him everything. You meet Dumbledore. The scenes of the what I love the most is like the food aspect of it. Like there's something so cool about like being in this great hall and like there's this food magical everywhere. Everyone's happy. It's snowing outside. Like that's like the first three, even the first two. After that, you start kind of getting a little dark. So it would go my least favorite. It would go Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, probably Goblet of Fire, Prison of Azkaban's 4, and then so far Order of the Phoenix is my favorite. I like Goblet of Fire. The only thing that I will say is like the book is so much better than the movie. The book makes Voldemort, at least what I create in my head, seem like such a more violent and scary person. The movie's not like that scary. Like he just looks like a dude with like without noses. Prisoner of Azkaban is one of my favorites because you meet Sirius Black and you really fall in love with that character. At least I do. I really do fall in love with that character. And also the end of it's like a classic chapter. It's like a chapter that you get to reread a few times. Like I couldn't imagine reading that chapter without seeing the movie because there's so many pieces going on with Wormtail, Ron, Hermione, Harry. Then you got Sirius Black, you got Lupin, Lupin's probably one of my favorite characters, and then you got Snape, and they're just kind of there's a lot going on, but it's a good scene. It starts really bringing the pieces together. And then I would say Order of the Phoenix so far is my favorite. You start seeing like the organization of it, and you start getting more like behind the scenes of it, which is really nice. And it starts like developing a plot. And it's really interesting because I was talking to Taylor about this because we're both Harry Potter nerds. I'm reading it after she has, which is kind of weird. I wish we kind of read at the same time, but as she was reading it, I was not reading it. I was reading the Gulag Archipelago, which is a completely different kind of book. First of all, it's nonfiction. and it's about Russia. But the Order of the Phoenix is fascinating because you get this character Umbridge, Professor Umbridge, and she takes on this. It's really fascinating. I don't know why J.K. Rowling did it, but she took on like this very much of a democracy-like feeling being overthrown by a communist leader. And she wrote this it came out in 2003. So she would have lived through the downfall of, Soviet Union. And the way that Professor Umbridge takes control of Hogwarts is very fascinating. It's very communist-like. It's very Stalinish-like. It's a progressive, slow. It's a slow progression of new laws, new rules. She goes from just being like a semi-leader with a little bit of power to like working with the outside government to become the ultimate leader. And then all of a sudden she has all this power, and it's really fascinating to see how it kind of it correlates with like the way that Russia or the Soviet Union became in power, the way Hitler became in power, the way who's the communist leader of China? Mao? No, not Mao. Not Xi Jinping, but Mussolini. All these people came into power, and it's a gradual restriction of your rights, and the people notice it, but they can't do anything. And then there's Dumbledore, the one who's still fighting for like the small people. I just thought it was really good, and I really like. And it's also fascinating because her average age group, I don't know, 12 to 20 maybe, probably, I don't know, maybe more girls than guys. I don't know. It's a really powerful girl lead, but maybe more guys. But like I couldn't imagine being 15, 16 years old and like reading this and seeing like this unfairness of the way that this lady comes in and like, I don't know, there's just a completely different world that's like created in it. And I wonder like, who would I be if I read these books at that age? I feel like I'd be a completely different person. And I feel that way when I'm reading it. I escape to this world, and it's like, I don't know. I want to live my life where that world is super tangible. I want to live my life like a wizard. And I feel so dumb for saying that, but I shouldn't, because it's fun. It's really fun to read. What do they say? 96% of people. 96. 96. 96. 4.7 from Barnes & Noble. 4.5 for Chamber of Secrets. 4.6 for Sorcerer's Stone. Prisoner of Azkaban is 4.9. Yeah, I think that's a fan favorite. I'm pretty sure. That was 4.9 for 4.7 from Barnes & Noble. For Prisoner of Azkaban. Goblet of Fire is 4.7. Order of the Phoenix is 4.6. Half-Blood Prince is doesn't have it. But 4.6 for Goodreads, and the Deathly Hallows is a 4.8. So apparently that's the best one. But yeah, I don't know. I really like it. It's really fun. You like escape to this world, and this world's really fun. You don't want to come back, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. And to see her and like this one lady like completely change the world forever. Her books change the world forever. That's so fascinating. Like her mind, I guess it's the whole world is a creation of other people's minds, but I don't know. It's really good. But Nietzsche said God is dead. You know, I trashed on religion for like the first 15 minutes of the podcast, but religion does have this ability to take people and guide them in a place, and this place has rules. And you can have 3 or 4 different groups of people. And as long as the rules are intact, and as long as the ability to believe in the rules are there, and you can enforce them, and you can enforce them in a manner that is acceptable by the people who are told to follow them, and as long as you can get people to continuously believe in this made-up story, and I'm not trashing, you know, the Hindu faith or the Muslim faith or the Christian faith, but it is not. It's based in as much reality as you give it credit for, but like a hard reality, I would say it's not based in. But if you can get people to believe in this reality, You can control people for as long as you want. But what happens is, and what happened in like starting in the late 19th century and the early 20th centuries, this started to fall apart. As people started accumulating money, as people started isolating one area, as different cultures started coming in, because for the longest time cultures were separated. So there was no conflict between people. But then once they started coming together at such a rapid rate and technology started taking them outside of the made-up world, things started collapsing. The floor started falling out underneath some people. And like this false narrative that they created to eventually believe in truth, which it is truth to them, it started crumbling. And as this crumbling happened, this is when Nietzsche said, God is dead. It's falling apart. And what happens when all these magnificent, beautiful lies that so many people follow, and I'm not saying lies to be disrespectful, I'm just saying lies to explain this. What happens when that starts becoming less believable and people start not believing in that? Well, what happens is now you have people who are deserted on their own islands. People who feel like they've been kicked out of a group. And if you have a certain type of personality, if you have a certain type of thing about you where you can get up there and you can say these things and you can be very loud and boisterous and powerful with your words and articulate with your words, but also be a full-blown sociopath or narcissist, psychopath, in a lot of ways, you can create a new religion. And that's what he started noticing. He said the 20th century is going to be one of the most violent, if not the most violent century we have ever had. And it did. It happened. It happened because people started coming into power. You saw this with the downfall of the Tsar. People started coming into power and said, no, he's not God. He's not God. We know he's not God because God wouldn't allow the separation of power. God wouldn't allow this Tsar to be the richest person in the country. I don't need to listen to him anymore. My God is not his God. I'm going to kill him. So it started happening across all of Europe. These beliefs started falling apart. And then there's renegades. And these people came into power. Joseph Stalin with the Soviet Union. Adolf Hitler with Germany. Mussolini with Italy. The dictator of Spain. God, what's the dictator of China? God damn it, what was his name? Xi Jinping. During World War II. Mao Zedong. And then you had the dictator of the Philippines. You have Ferdinand Marquez. I think that was a guy. Maybe not. I don't know, but you started having these sociopaths take on this power, and they became the gods, right? And they started creating new religions, and where like Hinduism and Christianity and like Islamic faith and like a lot of these faiths, when they started developing outcast, what took over these spots of these people who needed something to believe in? Political parties, extreme political ideologies started taking in. Communism, Marxism, even capitalism is an extreme. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. It is an extreme political system. Socialism started taking into place. Like these different kinds of economic beliefs started taking into place, and these people started telling them, hey, you're the greatest of all time. And what happens is violence ensues because of that. Because if I'm the greatest, that means you're not the greatest, which means second place. And people hate second place. So wars broke out. Territory was trying to be captured, and violence took over the whole world. I mean, between World War I, and World War II, I mean, how many people died? How many people died during World War I and World War II? Estimated to be 10 million military dead, 7 million civilians deaths, 21 million wounded, and 7.7 million missing or imprisoned. Over 60 million people died in World War II. Here we go. How many people died in both the World Wars? Current estimates place military deaths between 21 million and 25.5 million people. By comparison, civilian deaths include 29 million to 30.5 million from military and war crimes, plus another 28 million during war-related feminine disease. So if you take just the top end of each, 30 mil plus 30 mil, that's 60 mil plus 25. It's 86 million people died between 1914 to 1944. That's a 30-year period. Over 85 million people died. And that is what Nietzsche was saying, is that when you escape God, if God is no longer, if there's nobody setting out these clear rules that do have semi-peace, and then you inject leaders who want to make their country the best in the world, and then they can develop these cults where people follow them anywhere. And then you inject the technology revolution that was happening in the late 19th century and early 20th century. And the reason why and this is so dark, but the reason why technology became so powerful is because they needed to kill as many people as possible. And it's so dark, and I laugh, and I don't laugh because it's a good thing. I laugh because it's so evil. It is so evil that the reason why they wanted increased technology is so they can kill the most amount of people to take over the most amount of land. And that's what happened. And that's what Nietzsche was saying. And that's what happened. And you kind of see that nowadays. Like, I'm not a big religion dude. I don't subscribe to a faith. And I'm actually talking about this in therapy, which I've started last week, and it's incredible. I know I sound like I'm just riding therapy's dick, but like it is, I love it. I love therapy. Like, you don't even realize how good it is just to talk to somebody. I use BetterHelp, so it's kind of expensive, but god damn it, dude, it is worth it, man. It's really worth it. You just paying someone to force them to listen to you talk is the best. But yeah. So I don't know. It's always been fascinating to me, and so I have that double-edged sword with religion. I understand why people do it. There's a fear of death. Where's that book? I won't be able to find it now because I'm currently trying to find it. The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker, and the denial of death, things have to make you feel like your life means something, and religion is one of the best for that. If your whole life comes down to a decision, and the decision is only two options, you either go to hell or go to heaven, your life is so much easier to live because there's no nuance. There's either don't or do. And then there's rules. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't kill. Don't have sex underage. Don't use God. Don't say God damn. There's these very black and white. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? There's this it's very right down the middle. What you can and can't do. There's no nuance. And I can see why that is so popular. Because you know exactly what you need to do in order to go to heaven or either to go to hell. But what happens is when your ideas are challenged, they're not on the right side, so they're bad. So war happens, so danger happens. It's like there's a complex of thinking that is thrown out and doesn't exist in faith. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what it is. There's a couple eyelashes on. I should probably wash my mic, even though it's only me using it. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell dies of complications from COVID. Can we talk about COVID for a second? You guys probably don't want to talk about COVID, but COVID's done, right? I mean, is it over? I'm pretty sure we're done with COVID. I know where I live, like there's still like mask mandates. Some places, like in certain counties, there's mask mandates, but that's also Baltimore, and Baltimore is an absolute disaster of a city. Hogan just passed this huge bill to give so much more money to cops. If you go to Baltimore right now, if you go to Baltimore City, you can't go there. You literally cannot go there. It is worse than Chicago. It is worse than Chicago. It is such a horrible city. There's no jobs. There's homicides literally every single day. 12, 14-year-old girls getting shot in the face, and there's no cops there. And the cops get paid $20 grand a year. They have no training. And then Hogan says, we're going to give more money to cops. We're going to hire more cops. And then the mayor comes out and says it doesn't fix the issue. First of all, the mayor's like 32 years old. He doesn't know what he's talking about. His own people are corrupt beyond belief. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a Baltimore city council, I think, just got busted for doing something. Like, it's such a yeah. Here we go. This is awesome. This happened 2 weeks ago, and this is why Baltimore is such a disaster. And like, Baltimore City Council got its first chance to weigh in publicly on how the city's 640. Okay, I can't. What happened? Baltimore City's gather. City Councilman COVID soap. Baltimore City Council pleads for federal stimulus. Nope, that's not it. Someone got busted for Baltimore City tax. Let me just type in tax. Trouble. Somebody in Baltimore. Somebody just got in trouble. Baltimore City push back. Tactless finger pointing Baltimore officials to push back on Hogan's criticism. I don't know. Refund the police is, in my opinion, that's the only way you fix the city. I mean, the city it's falling apart. It's sad. It does. It's definitely sad to see. So I don't know. Who is this idiot? Like, it's just, I don't know. They're just falling apart. I'm pleased to announce the selection of our new housing commissioner, Alice Kennedy, said Brendan M. Scott. I've come to rely on her expertise. That's a her. I'm just kidding. Community relationships and genuine commitment to bringing the best out of Baltimore's neighborhoods. She has my full support. Okay, cool. This person, you know what? No. Mike, no. We're not going to be mean. We're going to be nice. Because we're a good person. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore. But yeah, COVID's done. Like, I gotta go to school today. I gotta wear a mask. Like, what are we doing, man? We're done. I know the holidays are coming, but dude, yo, when we're asking Fauci if we can gather for Christmas, like, go fuck yourself. I'm not listening to Fauci anymore. The dude's compromised, bro. The dude has a Netflix. Have you seen his HBO, or is it HBO? Or is it, I don't know. He put out a documentary. He was, the whole time he was supposed to be fixing COVID, he was filming himself. He had a film crew following him while he was supposed to fix the country. And then put out a documentary. And the Fauci documentary is, here we go. This is how you know it's completely rigged. Reviews. Okay. You gotta, dude, okay, if you just, all right, so here's a few things I want you to do. So go on, just go on Google and Google Fauci documentary. It's just called Fauci. So he has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. People love it, right? People love it. It's the best. I swear to God, click the Rotten Tomatoes thing. 37 reviews, 92%. People love it. They love the documentary. It's so good. Go to audience score. It's a 2% because the people hate it. Because there's such a disconnect between people in the government and, like, we just go, yeah, well, that's the way it is. No, it's like, dude, nobody likes him. Nobody wants him anymore. Like, he's just, let me pull up the, it's so funny. God, because I couldn't believe it. Fauci documentary. I couldn't believe it. Fauci documentary review, official trailer. Here you go. This is from Disney Plus. This is the, Fauci documentary trailer. I just want to say this because this is like the world that we live in. There's oh God, like, look at this right here. There is I don't know if you can see that right there. Anyways, This is the like, and someone's comment said the amount of dislikes gives me faith in humanity. 590,000 reviews. This is from 1 month ago. This is out on National Geographic's YouTube page. You can go look at it. It has 8,000 likes. Okay, that's cool. That's a good amount. It has 120,000 dislikes. 8,000 to 100. What is that ratio? What is that ratio? That's a 1 to 15 ratio. That is hilarious. And just go to the comment section. The amount of dislikes gives me faith in humanity. Nat Geo's latest documentaries on clowns sure looks interesting. The guy is a career bureaucrat and compulsive liar. He was the engine behind gain of function research and covered it up. The propaganda puff piece is an embarrassment. Thanks for that, man. You just got me canceled off of YouTube. I'll make billions of dollars off your fear. Anthony Fauci. The worst part of this trailer is I can't downvote it more than once. Hilarious. I can't believe people wasted their time actually working on this. The last thing this guy needs is a entire documentary to stroke his ego. I don't know. Honestly, like, mad respect to the dude. Like, dude, what the heck? That's crazy. Could you imagine being saddled down with that responsibility? The whole world's like, hey, what do we do? We're all fucking retards. We don't know what we're doing. And he just has to step in and do it. Like, mad respect to him. But at the same time, like, stop. Like, you talk about yourself in, like, first person, and, like, nobody cares anymore. And it's just like, also nobody cares about me. Why am I still talking, guys? Why am I still talking? I got to go to school. Towson's going to cancel me. 92% love. I think I was talking about this actually a few weeks back. Was I not talking about Fauci's documentary? Maybe I'm just having flashbacks like Harry Potter shit. I don't know. Anyways, I just drank way too much coffee. I got to go walk on the steps. That's what I've been doing. I've been walking on the treadmill, and it feels really good. I've been doing my 40 minutes. It's very peaceful. I'm not running. I haven't weighed myself in almost a whole month now. I think about 19 days. I feel great. I had a dream last night that I weighed myself, and I was 218 though, and I was so scared. But I feel good. I feel strong. I think I might have tweaked my lower back a little bit squatting today, but I feel strong. Like 5 sets to 315 on a squat. Like, I'm feeling strong as a fucking ox, dude. I'm benching 225 for like sets of 8. I'm deadlifting again heavy. Like, I feel good, and I feel like I look decent. I feel like I'm not cured, but I'm curing my eating disorders, which is hard. And I know people out there who have eating disorders. It's not an easy game, and it's a hard game to fix. And I think my biggest struggle is going to be when summertime comes around. That's when it's going to be hardest for me, but I'm confident I can, I'll hold on tight. I don't know. This is just so funny. The Fauci documentary, it's just trashed, but the people who love it are, I don't know. Look it up for yourself. It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll catch you guys on episode 236. I don't know. Thank you guys. Peace out. See ya. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.